Hello. So today I'm just going to do a very simple little demo. I'm sure you've all heard about charcoal. You need a piece of willow charcoal. It is actually a piece of burnt wood. Some putty rubber, which you can mold and make quite a fine little tool out of. So rubber with charcoal, I use it not as a correcting tool, but as a way of drawing and finding light out of the darkness of the charcoal. And I have taped the paper down, and I also wanted to show you that accidentally, when using some old masking tapes, I discovered it tore, and I discovered that it actually looks very nice to use a torn edge as well. Maybe I'll just get some lint off my clothes so it doesn't get too sticky and tear the paper. But this torn edge will look quite nice, I think, after I've finished. Here's another piece. Let me just get some lint off my clothes and stick it down. I think this whole idea of embracing imperfection can be quite fun. You can actually make imperfections deliberately and make them quite creative. So here's the paper. So it's not a cartridge because I find cartridges too shiny and smooth. This has got slight texture to it. And instead of just doing a charcoal drawing on top of it, as it is, I thought it might be interesting to intervene on the page. And you have here a pen that's run out of ink, or you can use some other tools, screwdriver, whatever is a sharp point. And I thought perhaps we could write invisibly or draw on the page. It might be a question of recording scratchy thoughts, as I call them, or scratchy feelings. So it might be, so it will be there, but it won't be visible. Etc. You get the story. I could write a whole long text here, or I could actually start drawing, even maybe looking at an image. Oh, this pen has lost its nib. You could use even a fork, which I don't have here, to make multiple scratch lines, so then when you use the flat side of your charcoal, the idea would be to cover the whole page so that then you have a dark area to work into with the putty rubber. But instead of sort of rubbing it mindlessly, if you start noticing what happens on the page and you start seeing that the scratches are emerging, and then you can use your finger. Some people use a tissue, but I think fingers were made before tissues, and stroking that in a way that allows the writing to appear. And then you can have some areas that are really quite dark. I'm going right up to those torn edges so that they will show up. So you will get your hands dirty. but you can even leave some white areas. So this is a nice dense part that will show up the putty rubber quite effectively. And then you can also leave some of these live marks, as I call them, these textured marks where the page and the surface underneath start to, they create another effect. So this was supposed to be some infinity sign that I was scratching into. So you can start drawing on top of that with the charcoal, and you can also start removing just the highlights of something. And it might be a question of turning this and remolding it to get a clean side out of it. And the nice thing about this is that you can change your mind. So the reason I love charcoal is because it's malleable. It's almost like using clay. So you can change your mind constantly, and suddenly that mouth wanted to be open, and neck is coming down. There's a nose here. So suddenly there's a person there that has emerged out of nowhere. And then I can come in and add more detail. Or even put more grey in here. So you see how I can change my mind so easily. And then you have the added texture of the scratching that comes through and shows up. It's there and it's not there. So just to give you some, you get the drift here, that you can add extreme darkness here on top of this to create a contrast so that this face can emerge more visibly. One could spend a long time. And then I might imagine that this light is coming from this side. So I might go and actually add a bit more light on this side of the face. And then a little bit more shadow on this side. Just to create a contrast. So just to give you some idea of what I'm talking about, there's another thing I did earlier, which shows you the different textures you can get from the paper itself, from the scratched and gently, here it's very gently rubbed. Here there's hardly any charcoal in, but it creates a lovely corridor of white. And then there's that sketch on top. So there's a variety of marks. There's the scratchy marks of what I did with the pen that didn't write, and then there's the scratchy marks of the charcoal and the soft marks, and all those start to interact and create a richer image. And here's another one which I did, where it shows you how I blackened the whole thing and then started removing darkness and drawing with the rubber to create the image. That's it.